A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Summary: A Wrinkle in Time is a science fiction and fantasy novel by Madeleine L'Engle, published in 1962. The story follows Meg Murray, her younger brother Charles Wallace, and their friend Calvin O'Keefe as they journey across space and dimensions to rescue Meg's missing father. Guided by three mysterious beings, Mrs. Whatsit, Mrs. Witch, and Mrs. Who, the children confront forces of darkness that threaten the universe. The novel explores themes of love, courage, individuality, and the battle between good and evil. Plot summary. 1. The Murray family's troubles and a mysterious visitor. The novel begins with Meg Murray, a high school student who feels like an outsider due to her struggles with school, self-confidence, and temper. Her father, Mr. Murray, a government scientist, has been missing for years after working on a secret project involving space and time travel. Meg lives with her mother, Mrs. Murray, a biologist, her twin brothers, and her highly intelligent younger brother, Charles Wallace, who possesses a mysterious wisdom beyond his years. One stormy night, a strange woman named Mrs. Whatsit arrives at the Murray household. She cryptically mentions something called a tesseract, which deeply unsettles Mrs. Murray, hinting that Mr. Murray's disappearance may involve extraordinary, possibly dangerous, scientific forces. 2. Journey across the universe and introduction of the Mrs. W's. The following day, Meg, Charles Wallace, and their new friend Calvin O'Keefe are introduced to two other mystical beings, Mrs. Who and Mrs. Witch, who, along with Mrs. Whatsit, take the children on an interdimensional journey via a method called tessering. They explain that a tesseract is essentially a wrinkle in time that allows them to travel vast distances in an instant. The three Mrs. W's reveal that Mr. Murray is trapped on the dark planet Kamazats, which is controlled by an evil, oppressive force known as IT. They explain that IT is part of a larger dark force, sometimes called the Black Thing, which represents evil and is spreading throughout the universe, trying to extinguish light and hope. 3. Visit to Uriel and understanding the Black Thing. Their first stop is the beautiful planet Uriel, where Mrs. Whatsit transforms into a winged creature and takes the children to a high vantage point. From there, they see the Black Thing engulfing parts of the universe, threatening to consume worlds with its darkness. The three Mrs. W's explain that Mr. Murray became trapped while trying to fight against this darkness. The children learn that many great historical figures, scientists, artists, religious leaders, have battled this evil, acting as warriors of light who resist the spread of despair and oppression. 4. Arrival on Kamazats and confronting IT. After traveling to Kamazats, the children discover a planet where conformity is enforced, and individuality is suppressed. The people of Kamazats live under strict rules and operate in perfect synchronization, a society devoid of free will and emotion. They learn that IT controls the planet through telepathic influence, forcing the inhabitants to obey and think as one. As they make their way toward IT's central stronghold, Charles Wallace tries to use his own mind powers to resist IT, but he is ultimately captured by the force and falls under its control, losing his own will. IT appears as a giant, pulsating brain, a physical manifestation of its evil control over Kamazats. 5. Meg's inner strength and love's power. In the fight to rescue Charles Wallace, Meg struggles with fear and self-doubt, but she realizes that IT's power is rooted in hate and conformity. Guided by Mrs. Whatsit's advice, she realizes that love, especially her deep love for her brother, is the one force IT cannot control or understand. In a climactic confrontation, Meg focuses on her love for Charles Wallace, which breaks IT's hold on him. With Charles Wallace free from IT's control, they are able to escape from Kamazats, returning safely to Earth, where they are reunited with their father and family. 6. Return home and growth. Their journey brings Meg a newfound sense of self-worth, courage, and understanding of the importance of individuality and love. She learns that even though darkness and fear exist, love, resilience, and bravery are the forces that allow her to combat them. The Mrs. W's bid them farewell, and Meg, Charles Wallace, and Calvin return to their lives, forever changed by their adventure. Key themes. 1. The power of love and courage. Love and courage are presented as the most powerful forces in the universe. Through her love for her family and friends, Meg is able to overcome IT's influence and the oppressive force of Camazotz, demonstrating that love has the strength to combat even the darkest evils. 2. The importance of individuality. The novel contrasts the vibrant personalities of Meg, Charles Wallace, and Calvin with the oppressive conformity of Camazotz. By valuing their differences and strengths, they are able to resist IT's power and prove that individuality is essential for resilience and freedom. 3. Good versus evil. Through the Black Thing and IT, Lingle personifies evil as a tangible darkness that threatens the universe. The children's journey is a battle between light and darkness, hope and despair, reflecting the need to fight against oppressive forces that stifle freedom and expression. 4. Faith and science. The novel combines scientific ideas, such as tessering and the concept of dimensions, with spiritual themes, suggesting that science and faith can coexist. The Mrs. W's, who are both mystical and wise, represent a bridge between these realms, showing the value of both logic and belief in the fight against darkness. Conclusion. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle is a story of bravery, love, and the strength found in being true to oneself. Meg's journey with Charles Wallace and Calvin highlights the courage it takes to stand up to evil, the importance of family, and the power of love and individual uniqueness. The novel's rich symbolism, timeless message, and imaginative world have made A Wrinkle in Time an enduring tale of light, love, and resilience in the face of overwhelming darkness.